Today we're exploring a haunting true crime case. Before we dive in, please support the channel by subscribing and turning on notifications. Parents often warn children about the dangers of trusting strangers. Don't talk to them, don't go anywhere with them, and never get into a stranger's car. Abby Hernandez's story is a chilling reminder of why these lessons are so vital. All she wanted was a simple ride home, but she found herself in the lair of a true monster. Early life of Abby Hernandez. Abby Maria Hernandez was born on October 12, 1998, in Manchester, New Hampshire. Growing up with her older sister Sarah, Abby enjoyed a warm and stable family life. Her mother Xenia worked as a nurse and her father Ruben was a sales agent. Though her parents divorced during her middle school years, Ruben stayed in touch, though mostly around holidays. Abby was a lively and social child, known for her adventurous spirit. She was an active member of a local outdoor club, where she learned wilderness survival skills and cultivated a love for nature. Friends and classmates described her as brave, determined, and full of life. By 2013, Abby had a romantic relationship with a boy named Jimmy, which her mother knew about and approved. The day she disappeared. In early October 2013, just before her 15th birthday, Abby was busy with plans for a hiking trip with her outdoor club. She received new hiking boots and wore them to school on October 9th to break them in. After school, she planned to walk home but promised her mom she wouldn't be late. However, by 5 p.m., Abby still hadn't returned home, and her phone was off. Xenia, concerned, began calling Abby's friends, but found no leads. The school informed her that Abby had left right after classes. That night, Xenia reported Abby's disappearance to the police. The search begins. Police quickly launched a search, combing through parks, abandoned buildings, and wooded areas. Flyers with Abby's photo were distributed, and by the next morning, her story was aired on local news. Hundreds of volunteers joined in, but every lead seemed to reach a dead end. Detectives questioned her friends, family, and even her boyfriend Jimmy, who had a rock-solid alibi. As the months dragged on, hope began to wane. A mysterious letter. About a month and a half after her disappearance, Xenia found a letter in the mailbox signed by Abby. She apologized, assured her family she was safe, and closed with a cryptic phrase, "Dreams come true." Handwriting analysis confirmed it was Abby's writing, leading some to speculate she had run away. But her sister Sarah dismissed this theory, insisting Abby would never run away. The FBI got involved, classifying it as an abduction case. The kidnapper, Nathaniel Kibby. Nathaniel Nate Kibby was born on July 15, 1980, in the same town as Abby. Known as a bully during his school years, Nate later had run-ins with the law. By 2013, he lived in a trailer park and had a troubled background, including failed attempts at kidnapping. On October 9th, he saw Abby walking home and offered her a ride. Despite her initial refusal, she eventually accepted. But soon after getting into his truck, he overpowered her, tied her up, and took her to a small shipping container on his property, where he kept her captive. Life in captivity. For the next 9 months, Abby endured unimaginable abuse. Kibby threatened her and her family to ensure her compliance, and even forced her to write letters to her mother under his dictation. He began trusting her enough to involve her in his counterfeit money operation, sometimes allowing her to stay in his trailer, but he continued to abuse her physically and emotionally. An unexpected escape. In July 2014, Kibby met a woman named Lorraine and gave her counterfeit bills. When Lorraine discovered the money was fake, she alerted the police. Fearing another police visit, Kibby hastily released Abby on a deserted road, warning her not to go to the authorities. Abby managed to find her way home and, despite her trauma, initially refused to identify her captor. But a week later, she revealed his name, leading to Kibby's arrest. Trial and sentencing. Kibby was tried and eventually sentenced to 90 years in prison, with a chance for parole after 45 years. In court, Abby expressed forgiveness, while her mother expressed gratitude for her daughter's survival. Post-escape, the road to recovery. After her release, Abby's journey to healing began. She returned home to a loving family, yet the weight of her 9-month ordeal lingered. During interviews, Abby recounted her experience, her bravery shining through as she detailed her time in captivity. Her story was not only about survival but about resilience, and the human spirit's capacity to overcome extreme adversity. Despite her trauma, Abby demonstrated a rare strength and compassion, choosing to forgive Kibby, a choice that resonated with many and underscored her remarkable character. Public outrage and the trial. When Kibby was finally brought to trial, the public was deeply invested in the case. The community that had spent months searching and hoping for Abby's safe return now watched in horror as her captor's actions were unveiled. Although Kibby initially denied his guilt, the evidence against him was overwhelming. From hair and DNA samples to Abby's personal belongings, found in the trailer, the prosecution painted a chilling picture of her captivity. The public was especially outraged when Kibby's defense requested bail, a move that briefly allowed him potential freedom. However, the judge ultimately prioritized public safety and denied bail, keeping Kibby behind bars until his sentencing. A sentence of justice. In December 2014, the trial began, and it continued until May 2016. Kibby's defense ultimately advised him to take a plea deal, likely to avoid a harsher sentence that might have come with a full trial. In exchange for his admission of guilt, Kibby was sentenced to 90 years in prison, with a possibility of parole after 45 years, a concession that stirred mixed feelings. Some saw it as justice, while others felt it was insufficient for the torment Abby had endured. Abby's powerful statement. During the sentencing, Abby spoke courageously in court. She addressed her kidnapper directly, surprising many by saying she forgave him. She emphasized how the experience had reshaped her life, instilling a newfound appreciation for each moment with her family and friends. Her mother, Xenia, also delivered a powerful statement, describing the toll the ordeal had taken on her family, but expressing gratitude that her daughter had survived and returned. Legacy and lessons. Abby Hernandez's story became a national example of resilience and the importance of community support. Her experience prompted discussions about the need for improved safety measures for children and teens. Her case also highlighted gaps in the justice system, as Kibby's criminal record and previous behaviors were warning signs that had gone unaddressed. Today, Abby's story continues to be shared as a reminder of both the potential dangers young people face and the strength of the human spirit in overcoming those dangers. She has inspired many with her bravery, not only in surviving her harrowing experience, but also in choosing a path of forgiveness and advocacy. Moving forward, advocacy and awareness. In the years following her escape, Abby focused on rebuilding her life and finding a sense of normalcy. She became a powerful advocate, using her story to bring awareness to issues of safety, abduction prevention, and support for survivors of trauma. Abby spoke publicly about the psychological scars of her experience, emphasizing the importance of mental health resources and support networks for survivors of abuse and violence. Community impact and continued support. The impact of Abby's story extended beyond her family. Her disappearance and safe return underscored the vital role of community involvement in missing persons cases. The collective efforts of friends, neighbors, volunteers, and law enforcement highlighted the power of unity in times of crisis. Her story served as a stark reminder of the dangers that exist, but also brought attention to the ways in which communities can rally to support and protect one another. Lasting changes in policy and law enforcement practices. In response to Abby's ordeal, local authorities and advocacy groups pushed for improved measures to protect vulnerable youth and prevent similar crimes. The case spurred discussions among policymakers about the need for better resources, training, and interagency cooperation in cases involving missing children and potential abductions. New policies focused on enhancing coordination between law enforcement agencies, promoting quicker response times, and increasing public awareness about signs of abduction. Abby's message to young people. As she continued to recover, Abby shared her message with young people, emphasizing the importance of caution, personal safety, and trust in their instincts. Her advice on avoiding risky situations and her encouragement for young people to seek help when they feel unsafe resonated with families and school communities nationwide. Abby's courage and resilience provided a meaningful example of survival strength and the importance of hope even in the darkest of times. A story of triumph and hope. Despite the trauma she endured, Abby Hernandez's journey serves as a testament to the human spirit's resilience. Her willingness to forgive, coupled with her advocacy work, has transformed her experience into one of hope and empowerment for countless others. Abby's strength continues to inspire those who hear her story, reminding us all of the importance of community, awareness, and the enduring power of hope. Reflections on survival and personal growth. As Abby moved forward, she often reflected on how her experience had shaped her perspective on life and relationships. Surviving such a traumatic event taught her the importance of resilience, courage, and self-compassion. Abby has shared that the ordeal, while painful, helped her discover inner strength she hadn't realized she possessed. Her journey of healing became a process of self-discovery as she learned to appreciate life's smallest moments and the relationships that supported her through her recovery. Supporting other survivors. Abby's story inspired her to reach out to other survivors of abduction and abuse, hoping to offer support and solidarity. Through speaking engagements and partnerships with advocacy organizations, she has been able to connect with others who have experienced trauma, reminding them that they are not alone. Abby's words and example provide a source of comfort and motivation for those dealing with similar struggles. She advocates for the importance of therapy, community resources, and understanding from family and friends as essential parts of the healing process. Bringing attention to abduction awareness programs. Through her advocacy, Abby has become a vocal supporter of programs dedicated to educating children, teens, and parents about the risks of abduction and how to stay safe. She champions initiatives in schools that teach young people to be cautious around strangers, trust their instincts, and feel empowered to speak up if something feels wrong. Her story has become an essential part of abduction awareness curriculums across the country, helping schools and communities to build a culture of safety and awareness. A life reclaimed. Today, Abby continues to rebuild her life, focusing on her personal dreams and ambitions. Though her past will always be a part of her, she remains determined not to let it define her future. Her journey from victim to survivor and advocate is a powerful story of reclaiming one's life after unimaginable hardship. Abby's hope for the future lies in her belief that her experience can prevent others from going through the same pain and suffering she endured. Abby Hernandez's resilience serves as a lasting reminder that, even in the face of tragedy, strength, hope, and healing are possible. Her story continues to inspire individuals around the world, bringing attention to the importance of community support, awareness, and compassion for those who have survived trauma. The broader impact of Abby's story. Abby's story has sparked a lasting dialogue on issues of safety, trauma recovery, and the importance of community support. Families across the nation have found in her journey a compelling example of how critical it is to educate children and teens on the dangers posed by strangers, not just with words, but with practical strategies for self-defense and personal safety. Many communities have launched neighborhood programs, abduction prevention workshops, and safety education resources, all inspired by Abby's resilience and strength. The role of mental health and trauma recovery. Abby's journey highlights the necessity of mental health resources and trauma recovery programs for survivors of violence and abuse. Her advocacy has brought attention to the often overlooked needs of survivors post-crisis, pushing for more accessible therapy options, support groups, and trauma-informed care. Her experiences illustrate the importance of comprehensive recovery support that addresses both the psychological scars of trauma and the pathway to reclaiming one's sense of self and safety. Abby's legacy, hope and empowerment. Today, Abby is more than a survivor. She has become a beacon of hope and empowerment for others. Her story serves as a reminder that even in the darkest circumstances, the human spirit can emerge stronger. Abby's resilience has transformed her from a victim into a leader, using her voice to uplift others and to champion causes that are close to her heart. Her journey of survival, advocacy, and healing continues to inspire countless individuals, turning her personal tragedy into a powerful legacy of courage and compassion. Through her unwavering strength and her choice to forgive, Abby reminds us all of the importance of resilience and the belief that healing is possible. Ongoing advocacy and future goals. As Abby moves forward, she remains committed to raising awareness and advocating for others who have experienced similar trauma. She frequently collaborates with nonprofit organizations that focus on supporting survivors, advocating for children's safety, and creating safer communities. Her efforts also extend to legislative advocacy, where she pushes for stronger laws to protect victims and ensure that law enforcement receives the necessary training and resources to handle abduction cases with the urgency they require. Public speaking and educational outreach. Abby has also become a sought-after speaker, sharing her story at events, schools, and conferences to help educate people about the realities of abduction, the importance of personal safety, and the strength needed to overcome trauma. She works closely with schools to develop abduction prevention programs and is often invited to speak to young audiences, sharing not only her story but also practical advice and safety strategies. Her message emphasizes self-awareness, the importance of listening to one's instincts, and the power of resilience. A symbol of resilience for the next generation. Abby's story has made a lasting impact on a new generation, encouraging young people to be more aware of their surroundings and to take precautions when interacting with strangers. For many, she represents the power of resilience and a real-life example of overcoming unimaginable odds. Through her advocacy, she inspires young people to believe in their strength and empowers them to seek help when needed. The power of forgiveness and moving forward. One of the most remarkable aspects of Abby's story is her decision to forgive. In choosing to release the anger and fear associated with her experience, Abby has shown that forgiveness can be a powerful tool for healing and moving forward. Her journey serves as an example of how forgiveness, while difficult, can help survivors reclaim control over their lives. Abby's message reminds others that forgiveness is not about forgetting the past, but about freeing oneself from it and choosing a future rooted in peace and resilience. Looking ahead, building a brighter future. Abby's ongoing mission is to turn her painful experience into a source of hope and strength for others. She hopes to continue her work in advocacy, build a foundation dedicated to supporting survivors, and eventually write a book that details her journey. By sharing her story, Abby is building a brighter future for others who may face similar challenges, ensuring they have access to the resources, support, and hope they need. Abby Hernandez's legacy continues to inspire, reminding us all of the indomitable human spirit and the power of community. Thank you for joining us on this journey through her remarkable story. Please subscribe for more stories of resilience, courage, and the ongoing fight for justice and hope. Together, we can make a difference.